Christina.
And I'm Randy. Are you ready for an adventure?
Come see our journey today to yesteryear, or parts of the past that were left for the future.
This is a journey into pieces of the past that have been left behind as we build the future. I am sure that there's items like this all over the place in every part of the country that have been left behind. Sometimes it's just fun to take notice of those items. For a younger generation, many of the items would not even be understood. Sometimes they need an explanation. For example, a working payphone. At one time, no one had a cell phone in their pocket. To call someone, you had to use a payphone.
You can always use the landline. They actually have a payphone, and it is 50 cents. And it says $1 for 5 minutes. So 50 cents is 2.5 minutes. Talk fast.
The first cell phone call was made in 1973, and the smartphone was in 1994. We're a growing channel, so please help us by subscribing. Lucille Ball was 28 and Desi Arnaz was 23 when they paid $16,900 for a ranch house and 5 acres at 19700 Devonshire Street in Chatsworth, California. They called it the Desilu Ranch. Desi loved working on the ranch and would drive his tractor along the back side of the area off of Corbin Avenue, and the tractor driveway can be clearly seen in the aerial view. At that time, Corbin Avenue was a one-lane road.
Right at the end of La Marche, this is Corbin here. This driveway here was to Desi Arnaz's backside range where he had his tractor. I had to get to the shade. Oh, and here's a different look at that driveway again that leads to a brick wall.
The ranch house was badly damaged in an earthquake in 1971, and it was torn down. When the road was widened and paved, the city thought there should be a driveway there, and it was never removed, even though it only leads to a block wall now. The driveway remains as a piece of Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz history, a piece of the past that was left behind. Dun, 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 dun. FotoMat was an American retail chain of photo development drive-through kiosks located primarily in shopping center parking lots, and FotoMat Corporation was founded by Preston Fleet in San Diego, California in the 1960s, with the first kiosk opening in Point Loma, California in 1965.
So FotoMat, you would drop off your film going down here, drop it off with the guy, and when you'd pick it up, usually you'd pick it up from the other side. Right now this is a 24-hour emergency locksmith. Of course nobody's there right now.
At its peak around 1980, there were over 4,000 FotoMats throughout the United States. With the use of digital imaging through computers and digital cameras, FotoMat became one of those passing trends. Many former FotoMat huts still exist, several having been converted into drive-through coffee kiosks. This one is a locksmith. They are now just a remnant of the past. The silent movie star Charlie Chaplin in 1917 built a movie studio on La Brea Avenue in Hollywood. He sold the studio in 1953, and today it is currently the Jim Henson Studio and has recently sold again. The steps to the entrance to Charlie Chaplin's office still exist today. The door to the office has been blocked off and can only be entered from the inside of the studio, and it is currently Brian Henson's office.
So where are you sitting, Randy?
I'm sitting on Charlie Chaplin's doorstep.
Charlie Chaplin's doorstep?
Actually, it's Brian Henson's doorstep.
It's now Brian Henson's office.
Right where Christina's at. Yeah, it's Brian Henson's office. Brian, the office has a fireplace right at this spot, and if we walk down just a little bit further, there's another entrance to the studios that's not used anymore. And here's a picture of Charlie Chaplin standing in front of that entrance and staring.
Yeah, there are pictures on the internet, as well as we have pictures of Charlie Chaplin sitting on these very steps.
It exists now as another fun remnant from the past. Aaron Montgomery Ward started his business in Chicago. In 1883, the company's catalog had grown to 240 pages and 10,000 items. In 1896, Ward's encountered its first serious competition when Sears put out its first general catalog. Sears and Montgomery Ward's are both a remnant from the past now. On December the 28th of 2000, after lower than expected sales during the Christmas season, the company Montgomery Ward's announced it would cease operating and closed its remaining 250 retail outlets and laid off its 37,000 employees.
So it was said that somebody bought it and they're going to be tearing it down. The old Montgomery Ward's. Over here it says Electric Avenue. This was all your tire center and automotive, and then you had the sign out in front.
And what's left of the Montgomery Ward's. After sitting there as a rotting piece of the past for the last 24 years, the property recently had a fire, and they say now it has been sold, and it will finally be torn down. The Muffler Men. Muffler Men are large molded fiberglass sculptures that are placed as advertising icons, roadside attractions, or for decorative purposes. The first figure was a Paul Bunyan character designed to hold an axe. They all stand about 18 to 25 feet tall. International Fiberglass of Venice, California constructed most of the Muffler Men. The first Muffler Man was created by Bob Pruitt in 1962.
See the Muffler Men, the long lost Muffler Men. Used to carry the tires, one in each hand. That's a fishing net for sure at Tune-Up Masters.
Thousands of the oversized figures would be deployed in a little over a decade at a typical cost of $1,000 to $2,800 each. Increases in cost to deliver the lightweight and oversized figures proved problematic, and the business declined with the 1973 oil crisis. International Fiberglass was sold and closed permanently in 1976, and that made the Muffler Man become a thing of the past. A train track and a train crossing signal for a train that goes absolutely nowhere. Or should I say, a track that goes absolutely nowhere.
The train done finished its run. Because the end of the tracks are right there. Check this out. Right to that chain link fence down there.
The original Southern Pacific Railroad began in 1865 as a land holding company. They've sold off most of their land for factories and courthouses and all kinds of other things to be built. And they left pieces of the railroad spurs behind.
No arm. Oh, and look. They tried to cut those wires too. So I decided to take a walk down. Got a lot of trash. Looks like the tracks pretty much go on. I see the railroad tracks. I got a good looking padlock right there. It looks like it ends right down there at the other gate. Or the other fence.
We build and yet we leave the train crossing. Well, why do you need that? You think the train's going to come? Hey, you're standing in the middle of a train track that goes nowhere. Woo woo. That's the end of the line. A very interesting train. You're hanging out in the middle of the train tracks?
Yeah, being a hobo.
You're waiting for the train to come? If anybody needs rails or whatever, there's some available. In many places, air raid sirens are used for weather alerts. In California, we don't have a need for that.
They did try to steal the wiring, the copper wiring.
Yet in Los Angeles County, there are still over 100 air raid sirens. These sirens were installed at the start of World War II, when Los Angeles was considered to be close to Russia and within range of nuclear bombs. Oh look, somebody did try to steal the wires. During the Cold War, large sirens were installed in residential areas. And they didn't want them because they found out they weren't copper. They're aluminum. What is this rotted out thing? It's a air raid siren.
And just so you know, I saw a cop car coming this way, and they were staring at us like, wonder what they're doing.
Today, many of these air raid siren towers still exist among LA's streets from Calabasas to the San Gabriel Valley. You can go and see them yourself while walking around. The Cold War started after World War II and went on until 1991. There was no direct military engagement. It was basically always each side threatening each other constantly. One of the main reasons for the air raid sirens being mainly in the San Fernando Valley was there was a Nike missile base site in Chatsworth, California. If a Nike missile was used, it could deliver a 40 kiloton nuclear warhead to a target 100 miles away.
That's one that goes in a circle too.
Yeah. Let's see.
It goes 4 ways.
All the paint's coming off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's one that goes in a circle too.
yeah. But see,
It goes 4 ways.
all the paint's coming off.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what the sound would have been like in one of those houses right underneath of that air raid siren? They're a rusted out relic from the past that needs to be in a museum.
We're on Woodlake Avenue, just south of Roscoe.
We're just letting them disintegrate in the weather. If you enjoyed our vlog, please subscribe
Ring that notification bell.
and give us a like. It lets us know you care.
And we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.